Hey guys, welcome back to some Dragonheir. Before we get into the video, click the link down below if you want to download Dragonheir, if you want to get into this game, because it is very, very addictive. Once I got in here with an RPG and all of the different game modes they have, I'm pretty impressed. And when you first get in here, make sure you do hop into the store. You're going to go ahead and hit into the market down here, the treasure market on the monthly. This is where you're going to use my code. The code is actually right up there. Use Furry Hippo to support the channel itself. That way, when you're making in-game purchases, it does help support the channel. So I want to break it down in this video with some of the heroes and show you kind of where we're at and what we're seeing. Within here, we finally got to the point of capping out the heroes at level 100. That is the highest that we can get. As far as I know right now, max level is reached level 100 with the resonance. So we are there now. The way that I did this, and again, I systematically kind of want to break this down, is all the levels in the entirety are going to come from one specific game mode, which is your goblins. So when we click on growth, and I love how they broke it into adventure, growth, equipment, and competitive, which is the PvP, the goblin layer is where you are going to farm up all of your resources. There are no more resources in here because we are at a max level, but ultimately you want to get to challenge difficulty or stage number 12. You're going to go through here, you're going to farm the goblins. The goblins are going to give you your item that you need for EXP to actually gain the levels in there. Once you do hit level 100, you'll notice that it's gone. The goblin layer really has no purpose other than if you want to go in here and farm gold, but really not worth farming gold in the entirety. It seems like I get plenty, even with all of the equipment, all of the artifacts that I've upgraded, we are still doing incredibly well. Now, once we go through there and you're farming that in the entirety, and I'm going to go kind of back and forth, then we start looking at the skill upgrades. Now, for skill upgrades, these are going to come from regular events. I don't know any place that I'm aware that I can actually go through and farm up the skill scrolls that they actually need. These are the master scrolls. Then, of course, depending on the variation where you have, even down here, I want to see, most of these are maxed out, I believe, at this point. But right here, we do have our scholar scrolls, which is for the elite heroes. And then we have the regular ones, which are for the rare heroes, which are way down here. Even down here, that way you do get these. I have 37 of the apprentice scrolls. So depending on the rarity of the hero is going to require a different scroll. Again, I get these scrolls through a lot of different gameplay. Don't know anywhere that you can go through and you can just farm them in the entirety. And I do like that all of these heroes are at level 100 in the entirety. Then we start looking into the gear now. I've gotten to the point where we are starting to get mythic gear, which can go in conjunction, because I want to break this down a little bit again as we continue. So you'll notice that some of these sets, when it comes to this legendary gear versus the mythic gear, they have a 2-set bonus and they have a 3-set bonus. Now, of course, if you're running a 2-set bonus, you only need 2 pieces, and you can also run two sets. So meaning that if we had 4 of this exact same item, we could actually have 2 or really double sets of the build out. Now, I want to run the 3-set in here. That means I can have these. Now, when it comes to mythic gear within this game, it is only 1 set. Now, one thing that I noticed is if you have a bunch of the same sets, they don't stack as far as I know. If you know any different, definitely let me know in the comments. Is that if we're looking at some of these mythic abilities or some of these mythic items that are the same item that you have multiple copies of, it didn't seem like they were stacking. I had a couple on a couple different heroes, and some of those are just kind of all different. But when I was in here and when I was stacking the items, it didn't seem to make a big difference, or it wasn't stacking it on top of it based on what we had, meaning that if we have a helmet that actually has this celestial decree ability, heals the wearer for 40% HP. And then if you have it in a couple different places, like right here, heals the wearer, right down here, a couple different ones. Then when I come out of here, it doesn't stack it more than once. It only shows once. I don't know, again, if I'm not seeing something, if it overlaps, anything of that nature. But it does make a big difference on being able to spread that mythic gear across a couple of heroes that are going to be in your formation, making sure you're stacking them. Now, you also notice right off the bat when it comes to equipment, there's a plus here on HP. There's a plus on accuracy. They gave us kind of the general guide or what you're looking for within these heroes itself. So the gear might not be the best in slot for a hero itself. You might be looking for more HP and accuracy pieces versus having just what we're stacking in here. Now me, I just quick equip this. And of course we could change this up, but feel free to optimize the results. So if we're going through here and we're looking for more HP and accuracy, you can see right here, defense, attack, crit, attack. this isn't really going to be a big piece for this hero itself. If we had something that was a lot more of the defensive nature, or even looking at something that's going to buff up the defense and accuracy, being able to nullify or adding in a lot more stats is what you want to focus on, guys. Stats are super, super important, and not the straight stats, the percentage stats. We've seen this exact same thing in Raid Shadow Legends. Is when you're going through here, you'll notice the stats and what they're going to be changing if we replace this item. We want to make sure when we have an item, even here, HP is 8,460. You get another item that has HP percentage. This has a much, much bigger impact when it comes to percentages because, of course, they are off the base stats that a hero does have. Makes a big difference. So crit damage, it shows you essentially if you're getting a piece, what it's going to look like, but it doesn't take into account the 2-set or the 3-set bonuses that you do have in here. So again, you're going to have to pay attention to exactly what you're putting on here, because if you're looking for a hero that is accuracy, haste is always good. But going in here, you can see even this piece right here doesn't have any HP. So trying to find a piece that does have HP, or getting to the point where you have a piece that does have the HP in there, does make a big difference. Now you can also go in here, you can upgrade it. I believe you can change some of the stats that are in here based on the gear itself. But again, I don't really want to get that deep into it. Now, when we start looking at some of the artifacts, we've actually gotten to the point of getting some additional artifacts as we're building these up. And you can see in here, it depends on exactly what they're wearing, what is going to look like. So for instance, if I'm using my hero right here, which is Fathom Down, when I'm using this hero right here, is having something in here that is going to give him defensive capacity, or give him the ability to, right here, giving defense penalty down on targets. That is pretty good, and that is why I believe this is one of the higher level artifacts that we want to put on him, because he's always going to be attacking, he's going to be front line. Now, if you have issues with survivability, there's a couple different in here that are going to give you the ability, or give you a lot more survivability. There's some that give, extra HP right here, HP plus attack. Have to pay attention to what stats they are running in here. We wanted accuracy in here. We wanted defense because he is primarily our tank in here. If you're looking at like accuracy, ultimate damage, these have a really big difference. Then, of course, looking at our primary damage dealer, we did the golden antlers on there after 20 seconds. Randomly marks one enemy and one ally. Marked enemies permanently take 9% more damage. Marked allies permanently receive 9% increased healing. Works very, very well within here. Again, a lot of these I have to get leveled up. I have to start using them a lot more. And even healing from the wearer increased to 10 to 15%. Makes a big difference when you're building out these heroes in the entirety. Then we start looking at the talents. Now, I have finally gotten to the point where I have maxed out, and this is the first hero that I maxed out the talents. Big reason is the animated avatar. I loved it right off the bat, but you can see the build on this one, that we actually went in here. When the hero's HP is above 60%, their attack is increased by 10%. This hero does heal, does shield, does work incredibly well. Then we added in when the aura energy is above 50, again, 10% more damage. For every 50 aura energy consumed, the talent owners restores max HP. So again, going to have the ability to heal this hero. When the hero's battle skill successfully applies a shield to an ally, which of course has a shielding mechanic within this hero, gains 3% ultimate charge. So we're going to see a lot more ultimates in here from this hero specifically. And then we have soul imprint. So this was interesting because when we were doing the summoning for this hero, we actually got 2 copies of this hero to use. So I consumed the soul imprint in here to actually give her this ability. So added some more to defense, and then of course it gave an ability. These require additional copies, and you'll notice right here when allied heroes have a shield, damage dealt is increased by 10%, max bonus damage, HP by 30%. That is massive, guys. And then when casting the ultimate skill, grant 30% damage up to all allies. Want to build her out, that is going to be huge. Also dealing an additional attack, max HP is radiant damage. Want to build her out when we get more copies. Now, of course, when it comes to getting copies of these heroes, it is very, very big RNG. Now, when it comes to, again, resonance level, you can farm. When it comes to your equipment rate here, you can farm. When it comes to talents, you can farm. And it tells you exactly where to do this. For instance, if we go down here, it says insufficient light again. It shows me exactly where I can get it. So I can hop over, I can look at the battle, I can look at the difficulties in here and see exactly where I can farm those in the entirety. I'm trying to get them out and trying to farm them to specifically build up very, very dedicated, very specific talents in here. Now, for me, again, this is my primary damage dealer, but I've also been using Shala. Shala is another one that has done a lot of damage in here, started to build out and started to use some scrolls in here. But overall, looking at the same thing, doing the skill upgrade, trying to get a couple more of these. You can see we've already got this to number 2, adding a plus 5% damage. So what I actually do is you can see radiant damage right there. And then we have the crit damage up, increases crit damage by 5%. Works incredibly well when an aura ally consumes aura energy. The hero and the aura ally with the highest attack rating, which of course is going to be my primary damage dealer, gets 1 stack of crit damage up to 20 stacks. That is huge when we start building this out with the passive. I'm really liking the hero in the entirety. Again, resonance level applies to all heroes. For the skills in here, we have the 3 set bonus within the attack and the attack speed when the wearer casts a battle skill or ultimate. 60% attack speed. So again, being able to really amplify the attack speed in here. And then we did add the mythic piece in here. Each time the wearer inflicts a debuff, the target takes 5% increased damage for 10 seconds. Now, got to pay special attention on kind of what the hero does, where if there's a buff in here for this, what do we have here? So gain aura damage, radiant damage. Again, I have to see if the hero, this from my understanding, if there's no like debuffs in here, that gear is not going to have much of an impact at all. Just because each time the wearer inflicts a debuff, if this specific wearer, if this specific hero doesn't inflict a debuff, it's not going to make a big difference in here. Now, of course, crit damage in here pretty high, attack low, enlightenment pretty low, just for the fact, again, that this hero is, the build on this hero or that this item that we got for free was not too good. So at the start of battle, the wearer shares 15% attack and 50% of their defense with up to 2 adjacent allies in the same row. That could be really strong. HP, crit damage, crit rating. This could make a big difference in there. This might be one to actually swap. That way, again, looking here, HP is going to go down in here. We're getting more defense. We're getting more crit rating, which is very, very low. Which is funny because like in Raid Shadow Legends, you could get 100 crit rating super easy. In this game, it seems very, very hard to get. And then at the start of battle, increase the wearer's enlightenment by 20. Enlightenment, again, doesn't say that it's a priority in here. Other allies within 1 tile of the wearer gain damage reduction equal to 1.01 of the wearer's enlightenment. So if we have enlightenment boosted up about here, that is going to give us a pretty strong protection in here. But even here, as we could go in and look at what we want, what variation we want in here, to see what makes sense. Because even if I swap this one to another piece, which unfortunately I don't have another Thorn Vine Grove gloves. Again, this is where farming gear is going to make a big difference. I don't have the chest for this specific set. Haven't been farming that much. Haven't been playing this game for an incredible amount of time, but absolutely building these out and getting them kind of spec'd with what we're looking for as a damage dealer and going through. And then again, I am farming the talents. I want to finish out the rest of the talents in here and continue building them out. Now, there is a second one that I finished today, which is actually one of my, and really my only necro. So buff assassination, but I love this summon. Being able to launch the shadow demon in a specific direction seems to do a lot of damage. I feel like when it comes to the different classifications, in here, 2 summons Dark Phoenix, 3 summons Dark Flame Phoenix. So again, putting the same heroes together seem very, very important when it comes to building these out. And it seems like you're going to amplify the damage. Now, I was kind of going through and figuring out exactly what this looks like. So when we start looking at a couple different places, including the core itself. So looking at the elemental affinity is if we have specific heroes right here, all deployed heroes, elemental damage plus 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. We're going to be able to amplify the damage if we add deployed heroes in here. If we're going in here and we're adding a lot of the same ones, this is again where we talk about the synergy and going through and actually fighting some of these battles that are very hard because most of these are specific to only being able to use very, very specific heroes. So if we go in here and we have the ability to use, it looks like we got some frost heroes in here. And then we also do have, there's a poison hero. I actually picked up one new poison hero today, which is right here. I'm gonna have to see exactly how this hero works, what it looks like. But this was actually out of a box that I had gotten earlier. Increases all allies resistance by 40. That might make a big difference. This might be a hero that I actually want to use in here. And then a couple of these other ones, again, I've kind of picked up along the way. But again, depending on the fight that you're in, is going to require and does have special or limitations to the heroes you can use in those specific fights. That's the reason why this one specifically was very hard to get through. Is I was super limited with the heroes. Only Vertigo heroes can be used in the challenge when an enemy has 220 resistance. Heroes with over 240 accuracy are recommended. Even going down here, guys, 240 accuracy is recommended. Accuracy 32, 52. I got to figure out what I'm doing wrong. Even here, having these accuracy sets, or this one's the enlightenment set. I know a couple we did have accuracy sets in here, or trying to build it up, but getting it that high, I'm assuming is only going to come as I continue to level up through that piece, through the cores itself to give them a lot more stats. Now, like I had said earlier, when we start looking at these heroes, is getting a bunch of summoning heroes together or getting a bunch of like heroes together seems like it is going to be the absolute best option in here. Because you can see even here, we have this egg right here. That is our Dark Flame Phoenix. If I take one of these guys out, it actually disappears. Either way, because it will take away the summoning aspect that we have in here. So if we can go in and build a couple of these and build a couple summons in here, really does make a big difference on how well these heroes are going to perform and to what level they really perform. Got to build them out again a little bit further with everything that we have in here with the skills and abilities. So not only are you putting talents on there, you're putting the skills and abilities to make them much, much stronger. Now, these guys, these are another one that where they are just support heroes. So this is allowing us to use dark heroes and support heroes. Then it gives us the bonus. So right here is what we're talking about. So if you look here, we have the Vertigo heroes. So 3 hero elemental affinity, and then the 5 hero affinity as well gives us that elemental damage bonus because we are using the same type of heroes within this itself. You can see we don't have any of the other ones, but being able to buff this out again, I feel like we're getting some bonuses out of here. We're getting some more accuracy, and being able to fight this out in the entirety. Might have to get some more skills on some of these. But then they also give us little support. So all allied heroes gain 30 seconds of a shield because we do have 3 support heroes in here. We have 2 in here. Summons a stronger Dark Flame. I think we need 1 more summoning in here. So I'm going to drop out. Let me drop out my main hero and see what we have for another summoner. Again, looking down here, it's going to go pretty far down here. Do we have some summons? Allies attack speed. That might actually be pretty quick. Good. Let's just quick equip this. And then see where, there's the hero. Let's go ahead and drop them in because I want to see what this looks like. Boom, that adds 3. So that buffs up the Dark Flame Phoenix in here. Yeah, summon the stronger Dark Flame. So again, we're going to lose some of the shield aspect in here, but we're going to pick up a much, much stronger buff out of there. I'm just hoping they can survive in here. So let's see what it looks like. Combat I love. It is really cool. So there is the Phoenix, guys. And I want to see kind of where these buffers or where these damage dealers are coming in, because we have a couple summons, and look at the 3D animation. Yeah, summon right there. You can see all 3 of them working together on the summons. And I'm thinking with a rare hero, with things of that nature, that we're probably going to get wrecked in here by the boss. I do have a healer, which it's very, very hard to get healers. Healers, shielders, things of that nature. I haven't had much luck at all picking them up. But see, we have the Dark Phoenix right here. We also do have a secondary summon that is right here, that level 100 got shielded right there. So we have more than 1 summoning. And I love, even back there, guys, you can see there's another summon right here, level 100 with a little, it looks like a spear. Having a bunch of summoners together is cool. I've always loved summoning, and really games that offer summoning in here. So let's see if we can keep this up through, and I'm hoping when he flies that we can take this guy down. I don't think we're anywhere close to being able to. Yeah, there's the summon. So we got a lot of ads up. We got a lot of summons up. Boom, he takes to the skies. Let's see if we can burn through these. Again, I don't think even with our summons in here, we're not even going to get close to killing them. Yeah, and there's our defeat. This, I think it's going to be a wipe. Again, just because we don't have the ability to shield or heal. There's the defense up. There's a little bit of healing. Let's see, he even heals. We're not doing that much damage overall. And then, of course, our one hero right here is completely dead. We might beat it. I mean, it might be a very, very slow win. Because, I mean, with the shielding aspect and, of course, having that stronger Phoenix, we took a lot of them down. Yeah, we need the defense up. We need some healing. We need some big healing in here. There's the heal over time. Ooh, yeah, I don't think so. If we need a shield, we need something here. Because I feel like we're healing a little bit, but I feel like we're still gonna die in here. But, I mean, we got all the buffs up. I mean, we're getting all but probably 2 or 3 of them down. As long as we don't drop the healer in here, we should be able to get this. But we do also have the 2-minute time limit up here, and you can also see the stacks. So when we start looking in here, the underlying lightning chain that bounces enemies up to 5 times, dealing lightning damage, performing healing on itself. As it gets higher, he becomes more difficult and he does more damage. So with that underlying lightning, again, we almost took down all but 2 of them in that one. But we don't have that 5th damage dealer. We're missing the 5th one. Again, my main hero keeping it in here might have made a big difference. But even my tank's doing a lot more damage than some of my other heroes. Yeah, if we had the build, if we had the primary hero in here, I think we could win. I think we have, what, a minute left? This is going to be pretty close. Again, got the heal over time right there. Pretty big crits. Look at that, 15,000 damage a second. Could definitely use a lot more summons in here. Could definitely use a lot more heals, because I think we're going to lose this one, guys. See if we can get the summons in here. A lot of lightning going around. Boom, the Phoenix burned through them. Killed most of them. I think we have 2 left in here. Defense up. 30 seconds left. It's going to be close. We're doing some pretty big damage in there, though. Come on, we got to get him before he flies. I think this is going to be over. And I think we took him down. We got him. We got him in that one. Awesome. Awesome to see. Yeah, first time. We needed some of those big gems. And again, guys, using a rare hero, it seems like it's just too much at this point. We're going to have to get some better summons. We're going to have to get some other heroes. But that does take us to 15 in its entirety. Looking at recommended lineup, it's pretty interesting because, I mean, here's some support. And these heroes, I don't even have. So legendary, what is this? The Dauntless heroes. I don't even think I have any Dauntless. And look at the gear on there, guys. The weird whistle. Yeah, we got the armor. We got some really, really big, even accuracy 12. But if they're saying we need a lot more accuracy than that, it's kind of crazy. Even crit rating much lower. But looking at these Dauntless heroes, yeah, Thundercloud. I don't have any of them. I don't have any of them. Now down here, there we go. So there is the one that we got. So we do have her exclusive. When an allied summons a creature, necrotic damage deals aware to 5% for 5% for 10 seconds. Each stack has a separate duration. Man, I need to get some of this stuff. And again, we're relatively new to the game. Here's another legendary summoner, which we need some more. I mean, there's a Dawn Piped Organ. Yeah, I mean, they're just crushing it with some of these teams, guys. Even looking at the rating, there's 17, there's 18, there's a 19. I mean, yeah, these are really, really strong. And I love these heroes, guys. There's Tauren. Yeah, I got the shielding value, but again, this is another one. Invisibility. Yeah, Chaotic Prayer, Invisibility. Again, really big healing in there. That's what we're missing. We got Nathaniel. Nathaniel's the only healer we really have as far as an effective healer, but definitely going to have to get some more of these artifacts. Going to have to do some more of these summons to actually pick them up. But all right, guys, again, wanted to break down and kind of give you an update of what we're seeing on the account right now. I'm definitely want to make some more progression. Definitely going to keep farming everything in its entirety. But guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.